Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rana Ravi from MSME and Startup Committee ICAI. Today, I would like to welcome our speaker, sir, CA Dr. Naveen, sir, and our coordinator, CA Arnav, sir, for today's Pathsala series. Over to you, Arnav, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Today's topic, empowering MSMEs, legal safeguards, tax benefits, and government schemes for sustainable growth, could not be more timely. This ever-evolving regulatory and business environment demands robust legal compliance, proactive tax management, and effective leveraging of institutional support. For that, our institute and MSME committee has arranged for this webinar. The speaker for today's session will be CA and Dr. Naveen Kumar Dhandria, sir. It is a true privilege to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir is a dynamic professional whose relentless dedication has left a remarkable impact on India's tax and regulatory landscape. Dr. Naveen's journey goes far beyond an impressive 23 years of track record in direct and indirect taxation, corporate laws, and audits. Hailing from Assam, Sir has blended grassroots practice with national policy advocacy, serving clients from MSMEs to government institutions. As partner at Messrs. D. Dhandria and Company, he is well respected for practical, ground level insights and hands on solution qualities that resonate deeply with MSME sector's unique challenges. What truly distinguishes him is his passion for knowledge sharing and public service. Dr. Naveen has trained countless GST and income tax officers across India, from CBDT and CBIC to state GST departments. He's regularly invited faculty at National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics, and the ICI, where he mentors both professionals and policymakers. Dr. Naveen's expertise has been recognized through multiple appointments, member of GST Council's Grievance Redressal Committee, for three consecutive terms, expert under Section 153 of CGST and Assam GST Act, and most recently, special invitee to Ethical Standards Board of ICI New Delhi. His leadership extended to working closely with industry leaders, helping develop the GST module in Tally, now powering compliance for nearly 90% of GST filers nationwide. This spirit of continuous improvement and digital innovation is evident in all his projects. He is also an accomplished author, contributing to leading platforms such as Taxman and Tax Sutra, and provides regular research input to ICI's study circle and branches. His research acumen and ethical commitment have earned him an honorary doctorate in GST law and Voice of Value Award by Vitality Solutions, among other accolades. Let's warmly welcome Dr. Naveen Kumar Dhandria, sir. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Arnab Jain ji, for giving a nice introduction. And this program is the 64th webinar on MSME Pathsala Series 2.0. The today's topic, empowering MSME, legal safeguard, tax benefit, and government schemes for sustainable growth, was discussed at our committee, that is Committee on MSME and Startup, ICI Chairman Sir, in absentia Gyan Chandra Mishra Sir, made go through to this topic, and Arpit Kabra Sir, in absentia Chairman, also agreed to this topic. This topic, which I am going to discuss, is nothing new with we all professionals, but we need to check many ifs and buts when it comes to our report preparations. The deliberation of topic today will be legal support as well as what CS should check while reporting the MSME entities' financial statements. With this opening remark, I would like to share a small PPT. Is my PPT visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay.
Make it full screen, sir.
Now it's full screen.
Yes, yes, sir. It's
Okay.
okay.
So the agenda will be first, I will talk about legal safeguards under MSMED Act 2006. Then how legally the government gives benefit to MSME registered entities in case of compliances and tax benefits under Income Tax Act for the transactions which they incur. Then various types of government schemes for different types of MSME registered entities, plus also different kinds of safeguards by the government for the MSME at large across India. So to start with the basic act, MSMED Act, I will emphasize on chapter 5 of this act. So I am borrowing few concepts from that act which gives legal safeguard to MSME enterprises. First, we look at the recent change in the definition of MSME, dated 21st March 2025, where the notification was issued by the ministry and the investment and annual turnover criteria were enhanced. So, with effect from 1st April 2025, the investment criteria for micro, small, and medium enterprises were enhanced. For micro enterprise, it was enhanced from 1 crore to 2.50 crores. For small enterprise, it was enhanced from 10 crores to 25 crores. And for medium enterprise, it was enhanced from 50 crores to 125 crores. If the investment in plant and machinery does not exceed these slabs, the status of the entity will be either micro, small, or medium. Second criteria is annual turnover, and the annual turnover was also enhanced for micro from 5 crores to 10 crores, for small enterprise from 50 crores to 100 crores, and for medium enterprise from 250 crores to 500 crores. So with the revised definition applicable from 1st April 2025, the criteria for classification of MSME has been changed. Now, who is the supplier under MSMED Act is in section 2, subclause small n. And it says that any entity who can be registered under MSMED Act by filing a memorandum with the authority, that is Udyam portal made by the authority, and also includes under subsection 1 of section 8 the NSIC, which is a company registered in erstwhile company law, SIDC, and any company, cooperative, trust, or a body by whatever name called, registered or constituted under any law for the time in force, engaged in the business activity can be registered under as MSME. The concept of appointment date under this act is very important because many provisions are linked with the appointed date. What is appointed date? Appointed date will be the immediate next day from the 15 days of receipt of goods or services or both. And any penalty, interest, or any reporting requirement will be from the appointed date. The concept of appointment date means the day following immediately after the expiry of 15 days from the date of acceptance or day of deemed acceptance of any goods, any services by a buyer from the supplier. Now, what is day of acceptance? When a buyer gets the delivery of goods or receives the services rendered by the supplier or both when the date of actual delivery is called as day of acceptance. In case the goods which received has defect or is not up to the quality as per the sample, or the services rendered to the recipient is of substandard, then the act says the buyer should raise objection within 15 days in writing. It cannot be oral, it should always be in writing. And I would like to express here that the writing to the supplier should also be acknowledged also for future reference. And when such communication is done by the buyer to the seller will be liable to either take back the goods and supply again, or make good of the defects as pointed out, and the period for removal of such defects will not be counted for the date of acceptance. And if the buyer is quiet, doesn't say anything, then the concept of deemed acceptance is also there. That is, after the expiry of 15 days, it will be constituted as that the goods or services as received by the buyer or recipient is deemed to have been accepted if no objection is raised. So this is very important on the part of buyer or recipient of service, that if any defect of quality, quantity, or miss status services or services which required was not rendered properly, the objection should be raised in writing with the relevant supplier within 15 days to have himself be benefited under the act, and no penal provisions may be initiated if such defect is not removed. Am I clear up to this point? Voice is clear? Rani sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's clear. Thank you.
The next concept comes herein is, if there is no express written agreement between the supplier and the recipient, then the act says that it will be 15 days time for the payment from the date of acceptance. And if there is an agreement, then this time limit can be extended up to 45 days, but it can never exceed 45 days, even if in the written agreement, the buyer and seller agrees to a date later than 45 days, say 60, 75, 90, 1 year, 2 year. The act gives a upper capping of 45 days only. And if a buyer procuring any goods or accepting any services from the MSME registered suppliers, he is duty bound to make payment within 45 days if there is an agreement, even if it exceeds 45 days, or if there is no agreement within 15 days from the date of acceptance. And if the payment is not made within the stipulated time period, there will be a penal interest from the date, that is appointed day, till the date the final payment is not made, and the rate of interest will be the bank interest rate into 3 times compounded with monthly rest. At present, the bank interest rate is 6.50%, which comes 3 times equivalent to 20.50% with monthly rest. The meaning of monthly rest here is the interest compounding will be reckoned on the first day of the month. If there is default on, say, 15th of April, the interest for the period from 15th April to 30th April will be counted as per annum, and then on 1st May this 15 days period interest will be added to the principal, and for 31 days of the May month, the interest will again be calculated. So the panel interest is very high in case there is a default in payment within the time frame. If there is an agreement and that agreement exceeds 45 days, the payment has to be made within 45 days. And if there is no agreement, that the payment has to be made within 15 days. This is an example. And as we all know, if the payment to MSME unit who is a manufacturer or service provider, the traders are not covered. Mind, the traders are not covered. Then if there is a delay, and then that delay is liable for disallowance of the expenditure under Income Tax Act. In this table, I tried to highlight 25th March 2025 as the day of acceptance, that is, the recipient have received the goods or received the services from the supplier. There is no express agreement for the due date of payment within or among the recipient and the supplier. Then the appointed date will be 15 plus 1, that is 16th day. In my example, it will be 10th April 2025, and the due date of payment as per section 15 of MSME Act, it will be 15th day, that is 9th April 2025. And if the supplier is receiving payment with actual date of payment, that is 31st March 2025, the expenditure is allowed. If it is paid on the due date, the expenditure is allowed. And if it is paid beyond the due date, then the expenditure is disallowed for that financial year and will be allowed when it is paid. The point here is, during the year, if there is a delay and then it is paid. Suppose for financial year 24-25, the due date was say 16th of May and the payment was made on 20th of May. In such scenario, the payment was made good, so the expenditure will be allowed in the same year, but the interest liability will be there for the delay, in my example, for 5 days at the rate of 20.50% per annum compounded monthly rate. Similarly, when there is agreement, in the fourth column I have shown the due date as per agreement. In first 3 lines it is 30 days and in last 2 it is 92 days. If the agreement is expressly written for 92 days also, then also as per MSMED Act, it will be taken as 45 days only. Is this slide clear? Section 17 talks about recovery of amount due. If buyer fails to pay to the supplier for any goods or services rendered, he shall be liable to pay the amount, that is principal amount, together with interest at the rate of 20.50 as per section 16. Now, one question I frequently face is, can a supplier on his own motion waive the interest burden of the recipient? The answer to this question is, due to this section 17 and the repetition in the last line, that is, the buyer shall be liable to pay amount with interest, the act cast statutory liability on the buyer to pay the amount along with interest in case of default. So even if supplier says, I waive the interest, it is the duty of buyer to provide for the interest and pay the supplier. Now, as a auditor of the entity who is registered under any law, procures inward supply from any suppliers who are registered under MSME. Yes, sir. Any questions? Hello?
No, sir.
Voice is
There's
clear?
no issue. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Voice is clear.
Okay. The first is when we are auditing the books of buyer or recipient, as a chartered accountant in practice, we need to check whether there are any MSME registered suppliers from which the buyer are procuring any services or goods, then this provision will apply. And this has to be disclosed by way of notes to account. The primary responsibility of this disclosure lies on the SEC or the buyer. As the opening sentence of section 22 says, where any buyer is required to get his annual accounts audited under any law. Any law means be it tax audit and income tax law, company audit under Companies Act, or LLP audit under LLP law, or in some states there are the trust governing authorities called societies or trust authority. They also says for audit or audit under insurance, banking company, or any other law. If any audit is done, this section 22 disclosure requirement is applicable, and the SEC or the client or the auditee is required to make such disclosure by way of notes. This is a format which I have designed what should be given in notes to accounts, and this has not been specified under any statute or law. As per my understanding of section 22, I have tried to define what is required to be stated in notes to accounts if there is any transactions with MSME registered supplier. Please note here, this disclosure is for the transaction anchored with MSME registered suppliers. The section 43BH of Income Tax Act talks about disallowances, and when we go into that section, the point there is a thin line of difference. The disallowances for any delay payment does not cover the traders, which I will go why this exclusion is there. 43BH disallowances do not cover delay payment to traders registered under this MSMED Act. But the disclosure and disallowance are different altogether in my understanding of the law. Here the disclosure is any supply of goods or services or both received by the buyer from the supplier, and taking that concept in view, this note is to be given in the financial statements in notes to accounts. It has 7 parts. The first is principal amount remaining unpaid to supplier at the end of accounting year. that is, out of the creditors vendor list, say it is 1 lakh rupees, the 40,000 outstanding relates to MSME registered suppliers, then 40,000 will come here. And if there is a delay as per section 16, then the interest liability will occur. And if interest liability has been paid or unpaid, the interest due will come here. In this second line 2, the interest liability which is due to be paid as on outstanding amount will come here, and these two together will form part of the balance sheet liability. And thereafter, 5 pointers are a way of disclosure of the transactions during the year. First is any amount of interest paid by the entity, that is, during the year there was a delay, the principal together with interest was paid to the supplier, then also such interest already paid will be reported here. The next is any amount paid to supplier beyond due date. That is, first is what is the interest paid and what is the principal that was delay will come in 4. In 5, any interest due and payable for delay payments but which has been paid. Already make good, but it will be reported here. Then interest accrued but not paid will be reported in 6. And the 7 is any further interest due coming forward from the previous years or succeeding years also will be reported here. Then I go verbatim what the text of section 22 says. First is the principal amount and the interest due thereon remaining unpaid. Second is amount of interest paid by the buyer in terms of section 16. Third is amount of interest due and payable but which has been paid without any interest, the payment amount, that is principal amount, has to be shown. Fourth is amount is due and interest is occurred and remains unpaid. And the last is from the previous year coming to current year and the payment is made, that disclosure is also to be made here. Section 23 of MSME Act says that the amount of interest payable or paid by any buyer under or in accordance with the provisions of this act, that is MSMED, shall not for the purpose of computation of income under the Income Tax Act be allowed as deduction. This section 23 overrides the provisions of other laws, and it expressly disallows any interest paid by the buyer as per the provisions of section 16 to the supplier in case of delay payment. So the provision is amply clear that even during the year, if there is a delay and that delay has been made good by the payment and the interest has also been paid, then also that interest paid has to be considered for disallowance. Plus, please note here the amount payable, because the word is interest payable or paid, means if it has not been made payable, means the buyer has not accounted for also, then also there is a liability. So when you are an auditor of non-listed entities, the standard of auditing 250, compliance with other laws and regulations, is applicable on chartered accountant in public practice with effect from 1st April 2009. And if buyer is not calculating such interest, it is the duty of auditor either to calculate such default interest or give a suitable note in the audit report that it cannot be quantified, but there is a delay. So as an auditor, we have to be very cautious here because Section 23 clearly remarks that accounting for interest payable plus paid has to be done and it will be expressly disallowed under Income Tax Act. And the section is 43BH. Overriding effect is given in section 24 and chapter 5 of MSMED Act relates with the delay payments, and chapter 5 is comprising of 11 sections. Section 25 is pertaining to when MSME unit wants to close the business. So I am not taking it in this presentation. And the important 5 sections has been red marked, that is 15, liability of buyer to make payment within the due date, that is acceptance, 15 days from the date of acceptance when there is no agreement. Now, if there is an agreement, if agreement says for lesser time, say 20 days, 30 days, or 40 days, then that time limit, or 45 days in case when written agreement is beyond 45 days for the due date of payment. Then section 16 talks about the interest and rate, 17 talks about the recovery, and 18, 19, 20 talks about the facilitation council for such delay payment and its working, how to facilitate MSME registered suppliers, which is called as Suvidha or Samvidhan portal. Section 23, requirement in books of accounts to disclose such delay payment together with interest paid or payable, and 23 talks about how it is disallowed as expenditure from the income under Income Tax Act, and section 24 talks about the overriding effect of this MSMED Act. The provision of section 24 is the provisions of section 15 to 23 shall, that is mandatory, have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in any other law, be it GST law, income tax, corporate, LLP, trust, society, any law of the land for the time in force. Now, few questions which already I discussed, just for repetition. Is registered under MSMED Act mandatory for micro small enterprise to claim benefit? The answer is yes. For claiming benefit, you have to be registered, but for small enterprises, registration itself is not mandatory. But once you registered, you will be called as MSMED. And the protection for delay payment is available for manufacturer of goods and supplier of services. Mind it, this section 16 and 15 protection is not available to traders registered under MSMED Act as per NIC code 45, 46, 47. Can a retailer or wholesaler trader registered under MSMED Act? Earlier, when MSMED Act was incorporated and implemented in 2006, the traders were kept outside the scope of registration of MSME Act and they had no benefits attached. From 2nd July 2021, by office memorandum, the traders and wholesalers who are trading in reselling of goods are allowed to get themselves registered under this act, and they will be classified according to turnover and investment criteria cumulative as micro, small, or medium. And once registered, they will have only a benefit for priority sector lending purposes, and they will have no benefit for delay payment, interest, etc. The protection is not available under the Act. The government, the para 2 here says, the government has received various representation and it has been decided to include retail and wholesale trade as MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and they are allowed to register on Udyam registration portal. However, benefits to retail and wholesale trades are restricted to priority sector lending only. And who can be registered? NIC code 45 it is for wholesale and retail trade of motorcycles and motor vehicles. 46 is for wholesale trade other than motorcycle and motor vehicles, and 47 is for retail trade except motor vehicles and motorcycles. That is, 3 NIC code has been opened, and by virtue of these 3 NIC codes, the traders can also get themselves registered as MSME enterprises. And if they were earlier registered by virtue of any other service category, they can update or apply registration afresh. This is the copy of office memorandum where they have been allowed. And here also in para 2, you can say that it will be restricted to priority sector lending only. And because of this, clause 43B H, section 43B, clause H, disallowances for delay payment to MSME who are traders is not required. This I have written here again, but under section 22, the delay payments needs to be disclosed because they are registered as MSME. Only the disallowance under income tax is not there, and they will not get the benefit of interest, that is compound interest, but the delay payment has to be reported there. This is my interpretation. Then to make it clear, on 1st September 2021, expressly one more memorandum was issued, and in this para, it was again clarified by the policy wing of MSME policy division that in context, some MSME facilitation councils approached by the traders to get the benefit of provision of delay payment. This we will discuss how MSME facilitation councils works for giving benefit in case of delay payments to MSME registered units, and they approached to the policy wing, and in their reply they clarified that in the office memorandum the benefit to retail and wholesale trade MSMEs are restricted up to priority sector lending only, and other benefits including provisions of delay payments as per MSMED Act are excluded. So what I discussed, I have written here. Accordingly, if the supplier who is a retail or wholesale trader, the provisions of section 43BH under Income Tax Act would not be attracted. Now comes that it talks about the disclosure requirement under Companies Act. We all know from 14th July 2025, the MCA portal has been changed to version 3, and MSME Form 1 has been made online, and that form is required to be filed half-yearly by the specified companies, and the filing due date is 1 month from the end of half year in case such specified companies, who means is the companies who procures goods or services from MSME registered enterprises. Here the MCA wide notification number 2751 dated 15th July 2021 or 2024 changed the Form 1 and it's mandated that few disclosures has to be made vendor wise, and it has categorized the disclosure in 4 categories, and the form by virtue of notification requires the reporting requirement on the basis of 45 days. MSMED Act talks about delay and its reporting and its provisions. When there is written agreement, the date is specified therein. If below 45 days, then it will be below 45 days. Above 45 days, then it will be 45 days. And if there is no due date specified in the agreement, then or there is no agreement, then it will be 15 days from the date of acceptance. But under company law, the relaxation in reporting requirement is taken as 45 days, and the first point which has to be disclosed there in the form is micro and small. Medium has gone away with. Micro and small vendors to whom payment has been done during the half years and that payment is within 45 days. What is the meaning? The payment has been made within 45 days is to be reported. Second reporting is to whom payment has been made but after the period of 45 days. Third reporting is that payment is also outstanding at the end of 6 months, that is half year, but 45 days are not over. The fourth reporting is the payment is outstanding at the end of half year and 45 days are over. This kind of reporting is required in MSME Form 1, and the chartered accountants who are filing this form gets to have the data organized in this manner. Few accounting softwares, if configured properly, can provide with this data. This is the notification which changes the reporting requirement. This is the section 9 of MSMED Act, which has been quoted in that notification. And this is the requirement of version 3 portal of MSME form. And in this manner, it has to be reported for April to September, that is first half year of the financial year. The due date is 31st October. And for October to March, that is second half year of the financial year, the due date is 30th April. And the data needs to be bifurcated as per above 4 points, and then the form is required to be filed. When the form is required to be filed and when not to be filed. And what is the consequence of non-filing of this form? There is no late fee, but there is a penalty, and the penalty can be 10,000 plus further penalty of 1,000 rupees per day. And the director who is in default, the penalty can be up to rupees 50,000. few FAQs, which already I discussed. Who is required to file, who is not required to file. Then there are few benefits under GST laws to small taxpayers, and the category of taxpayers which is not defined in GST law but has evolved out through various notifications is a category of taxpayers. Under normal category, registered taxpayer is whose turnover is below 1.5 crores, whose turnover is below 2 crores, whose turnover is between 2 crores to 5 crores, and whose turnover is above 5 crores. And depending on these categories of turnovers, various relaxations in case of payment of interest, late fee waiver, filing of annual returns, filing of GSTR1 has been given to small taxpayers category. Under GST law, MSME has not been stated, but the small taxpayer category has been evolved through notifications and circulars, and that is small category taxpayers can also be MSME registered taxpayers. So I brought some of the relaxations or benefits under the GST law. First, I will talk about the benefit of Section 47, that is late fee, which was given from 1st June 2021. And the late fee benefits for GSTR1 form were given to the GST registered normal taxpayer from effect of the month of June 2021, those who are filing monthly returns, and those who are filing quarterly returns from the quarter ending June 2021. The late fee before this relaxation was capped at rupees 5,000 per act per taxpayer, that is per month delay return filing, and it was maximum rupees 10,000 per month per return delay attributable to all taxpayers till the end of May 2021 for normal monthly registered taxpayers under GST, and for quarterly it was up to 30th June 2021 quarter. The relaxation given was if, irrespective of turnover, the form is a nil form, the capping was rupees 250 per act comes to rupees 500 per return. And if aggregate annual turnover of the taxpayer is below rupees 1.5 crores, it was capped at rupees 1,000 per act comes to rupees 2,000. And if the turnover is between, that is exceeding rupees 1.5 crores to rupees 5 crores, it was capped at rupees 2,500, which comes to rupees 5,000 per return, and above rupees 5 crore, it is 5,000 per act per return, which comes to rupees 10,000 per return. The similar provision was given for GSTR 3B also, with effect from 1st June 2021, wide notification number 19/2021. If there is nil, it is capped to rupees 500, 1.5 crores to 5 crores, and it is not a nil return, then it is capped at 2,000, and it is, if it is 1.5 crores to 5 crores, it is capped at 5,000, and above 5 crores, it is capped at 10,000. In this way, the late fee relaxation embedded in the Act by virtue of notification number 19 2021. Then again, there is also a composition levy under section 10 of the GST, and now they are required to file form GSTR 4, which is an annual return, and there also the late fee has been kept at rupees 500 per return if it is a nil return, and rupees 2000 per return if it is a non-nil return for composition taxpayer. So this is one of the relaxation in case of late fee for the taxpayers registered under GST law, embedded in the law through notification, and such small taxpayers who are below 5 crore turnover limit are also registered under MSME. Then again, for normal taxpayers, the annual filing of the return in Form GSTR 9 made optional from 2017-18 to financial year 2019-20, whose aggregate turnover is up to rupees 2 crores for first 3 financial years of GST up to financial year ending 2020. It was optional, and from financial year 2020-21 till 23-24, the entities whose annual turnover is below 2 crores are not required to file Form GSTR 9 and 9C as well. And for the entities whose turnover exceeds rupees 2 crore, annual return in Form GSTR 9 is required to be filed. So this relaxation is also there, and further relaxation for GST audit was also given in from financial year 2020-21 by insertion of clause 3A in Rule 80, where the audit by chartered accountant or cost accountant under GST law was done away with, and the Form 9C filing requirement was made on self-certification basis. And further, the requirement of filing of GSTR 9C was made applicable for the taxpayers whose turnover exceeds 5 crores, that is aggregate annual turnover pan India. These are few of the relaxations for late fee and filing of the forms, and thereafter special scheme of quarterly filing of Form GSTR 1 was also introduced. Thereafter, one more important benefit was given from 1st June 2021, that is the interest on delay payment under GST law will be only on the cash component if the liability is disclosed in the month in which it has been incurred by amendment of section 50 of central GST law. These are few relaxations made under GST law for small taxpayers who can be micro, small, and medium enterprises. The same has been tabulated here. Notification number 20 for GSTR 1. Notification number 19 for Form GSTR 3B. Then what is the verbatim text of the notification for GSTR 3B? GSTR 4 late fee. Then GSTR 9. Then GSTR 9C. Then the benefit of interest payment. Then again, one more provision under section 77 has also been made. If the liability has been paid wrongly, that is integrated tax liability paid as central and state tax, then the interest applicability will not be there. The actual liability is to be paid, and wrong declared liability paid can be taken as refund. Then there are numerous benefits given under income tax law. I am picking up only a small portion for the paucity of time here. For startups, there are rate relaxations also for companies whose turnover are less under Section 115 BAC and other applied sections. The rate is lowered to even 25% also, that are as per slab changes and other benefits given, which are not discussed here. In brief overview, I am taking only few points under Income Tax Act, which has a greater importance for MSME sector and the relaxations given in filing the returns of income tax and tax payable thereon. As we all know, Section 44 AD, presumptive taxations for small taxpayer whose turnover or gross receipts do not cross rupees 2 crores in a financial year, they can opt for the presumptive taxation, and the audit requirement under Section 44 AB of Income Tax Act has done away with. And with the Finance Act 2023, with effect from 1st April 2024, the limit of 2 crores has been enhanced to rupees 3 crores, and the presumptive taxation amount will be calculated on the income, which will be calculated as when the payments are received other than banking channel, then it will be 8% of such turnover, and when it is received in the mode of banking channel, it will be 6% of such receipts. And it can be bifurcated in form ITR 4, and it is applicable for all individuals, HUF, and partnership firms. For partnership firms, the form is ITR 5, but it is not made applicable to LLPs. And the business should be eligible business. For the transporters, this is truck and other hiring services, there is separate section 44AE, which is not covered under this section. And this is the benefit given. They can do away with audit and they can declare the income as per the rate. And from the next financial year, the slab for new regime has been extended to rupees 12 lakhs. And just imagine, rupees 2 crores is the turnover and entire receipts is through banking channel. The rate of deeming income will be 6%, 2 crores, 6%. It comes to 12 lakhs, and 12 lakhs is the new slab under the Income Tax Act for financial year 25-26. That means the applicable tax will be 0 for rupees 2 crores turnover, provided there is no special rate income, that is stock market, trading in securities, capital gains, etc. This is for the businesses 44 AD other than playing and hiring of trucks and other vehicles. Then comes section 44 ADA. It is for the professionals who are service providers, be it legal, that is advocate, medical, that is doctor, engineers, accountants, that is chartered accountants, other accountants, cost accountants, company secretaries who are service providers. They can opt for section 44 ADA. The enterprises means such service providers or their firms whose aggregate gross receipt is rupees 50 lakhs or less for the period up to 31st March 2024, and thereafter it increased to rupees 75 lakhs. They can show 50% of their gross receipt as their income, and the requirement for audit is not there. It has been introduced from 1st April 2017. Then one more section gives the benefit for 3 years for additional employment generation under section 80 JAA. That is, suppose there are 6 employees in the financial year ending 2024. During financial year 24-25, 2 more employees were engaged and the number of employees increased from 6 to 8, and the salary to 6 employees were earlier say 7,50,000. Now it has been increased to say 10 lakhs. The extra increase say from 7,50,000 to 10 lakhs is 2,50,000, and there are 2 new employees. Then the number of employees has been increased, plus there is extra payout. Then the additional cost 2,50,000, it's 30%. That is 75,000 will be allowed as deduction from computation of income with the amendment of section 80 JAA. And this is for MSME if they fall under tax audit requirement of section 44AB. They can claim this additional benefit for additional employment generation. Then for startups, the benefit has been extended from period ending 2025 to period 2030. And turnover should not exceed 100 crores. They can have 100% deduction for first 3 years of their profits in startup. 43BH effective from assessment year 24-25. What is the benefit? Any amount payable to MSME for goods or services shall be allowed a deduction only if actually paid within the time period specified under section 15. That is 15 days if there is no agreement, 45 days if there is an agreement and agreement says the period beyond 45 days, relevance if there is timely payment, then the deduction is allowed. So the greater entities, larger entities, if there is deduction then and disallowances for such delay payment, then it will be a huge financial burden on such kind of buyers. But to get the deduction under income tax law, they have to make timely payment, and in a way it benefits the suppliers who are registered under MSME Act. These are the legal references, section 43BH, and it refers to section 15 of MSMED Act, and disallowance as per section 23 of MSMED Act, and this finds place in section 43BH of Income Tax Act. Again, there is an additional depreciation benefit for MSME units under section 32 subsection 1 clause 2A for additional benefit in case they are operating in the backward areas and they are having further installations for existing unit or new unit in that area. The additional depreciation is allowed. Again, there is section 35 AD where 100% of capital expenditure is allowed to MSME. Few of the categories mentioned in section 35 AD has been given here. Opening of new hotel of 2-star category or above, opening of new hospital with 100 or more beds, making housing complexes under a scheme of affordable housing schemes, making new plant and machinery installed for production of fertilizers in existing plant, inland container depot, beekeeping and production of honey. These are few of the benefits under Income Tax Act. There are also other benefits also. This were the legal background and legal safeguards available to suppliers under various laws, that is GST, income tax, and MSME, which has to be complied with. Now, what the Ministry of MSME does for MSME registered entities, the government schemes and government monitoring. We all know first is the registration. After registration, there are benefit of GEM portal registration, that is how tenders are given through GEM portal. Then the government also takes care of Samadhan portal for payments if they are delayed through Samadhan portal. Then again government takes care of the invoices which are getting due through trade receivables platform, where the supplier, if he wants, can get his bills discounted online and have the liquidity as soon as the supply is accepted by the recipient. Am I clear up to this point? And am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just 1 minute. So, a small enterprises will become MSME only upon the registration with Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and the registration is totally free on Udyam portal, and traders are also allowed to get themselves registered. There is no charges, no fee for registration as MSME in Udyam portal, and if any websites or online aggregated charges, it is their charges and it is not a charge of the government or ministry. The getting registration is hardly 30 minutes, maximum I say 30 minutes affairs if we have got valid PAN number, Aadhaar with mobile linked, GST registration, and you have filed your income tax return. Then you can easily get yourself registered on Udyam portal by furnishing these details, and the portal itself will capture the data from Aadhaar plus income tax website and categorize your category and will give you MSME registration certificate within 30 minutes. The 30 minutes is the maximum time. And once you get registered, the benefits are: first, the registration will be permanent registration and it will not be automatically cancelled. It can be cancelled only on the basis of application of the registered entity. Second, the entire process of registration is paperless and it is online, and whatever you declare is checked by backend portal with Aadhaar income tax website, and on the basis of your declaration treated as self-declaration, the registration is granted. There is no requirement for renewal of registration, and persons who can be registered are manufacturer of goods, service providers, or traders, be it retailer or wholesaler. After you obtain Udyam registration certificate, government takes care of your supply through GEM, Government e-Marketplace. You can register there and you can showcase your manufactured goods, the services you rendered, or even now it is allowed to traders. Maximum government entities, be it government department, PSU, or Public Work Department, Railway, are directed by central government through public procurement portal, that is GAME. they have to make the tender documents uploaded, and that tender is visible pan India. And as a MSME supplier, you get the benefit in GEM portal. How is the benefit? Depending on the entity, if you are not the lowest L1 bidder, suppose L1 bidder bids for a particular category of item as rupees 100 and you are bidding as rupees 106, L1 plus margin. The government says the margin should be 10%, but some entities says plus minus 5 or 7%. Even if L1 is 100 and your bidding is say 106, the tender is to be awarded to MSME registered supplier. Second take care is once you supply the goods either through GEM portal or to other buyers, and that buyer acknowledges by acceptance the goods, and if that buyer do not pay you within the due date, there is a Samadhan portal monitored by the Facilitation Council, MSME Facilitation Council, where you can raise a complaint, which will be discussed in detail. And after raising complaint, within 90 days, they will direct the buyer to pay you if your complaint is eligible to be entertained, meaning that you can have the proof that is purchase order, plus you can demonstrate that the supply has been done. As I discussed, 1st September 2021, when this MSME Facilitation Council went to the policy wing where the trader can also get this benefit, the policy wing said no. So this Samadhan portal benefit is applicable to MSMEs registered entity who are manufacturer of goods and supplier of services and not available to traders. And the third is TREDS platform, that is invoices receivable and traded in this platform, wherein your supply invoices can be uploaded by you and buyer acknowledge various banking and financial institutions and NBFCs registered with this 3 exchanges online institute will make the payment to you. This will also be discussed. So after registration, government protects you, plus facilitates you for your supply, checks for your payment if they are delayed, and also allows bill discounting. Further, they also allows you collateral free bank loans under CGT MSME scheme, which also be discussed. These are direct benefits to all MSME registered units apart from segment-wise government schemes. So eligible, one scheme I discuss here, that is Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. It is for the persons who are, any person who are of 18 years of age and they want to set up a new enterprise for generation of employments or other products, then there is the program called Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. Under this program, what the government says is, the objective first I would like to discuss here is, this scheme aims to provide financial assistance to set up self-employment ventures and generate sustainable employment opportunities in rural as well as urban areas. To generate sustainable and continuous employment opportunity for rural and unemployed youth, as well as prospective traditional artisans, and thereby hold the occupational migration. This is the objective of the scheme. The benefit is credit link, margin money for subsidy, cost of project may go up to 50 lakhs for manufacturing, 20 lakhs for service sector, and the beneficiaries can be SC, ST, women, minorities, ex-servicemen, transgenders, NER region, and the subsidy is 35% in rural area and 25% in urban area. For this, there is also a website. This is the eligibility condition. Point number 5, 6, and 7, we need to see that if already you are having an subsidy, you cannot apply for it. Projects without capital expenditure are not eligible. Further, cost of land cannot be the project cost. It should be for plant and machinery and skill development. It's online application. The website is this one. And few documents are required. Passport size, highest education, it should be class 10 or above. Project report, what is the category of the applicant, and if in rural area, then rural area certificate from Gram Panchayat or Gaon Buda. Objective already discussed. The scheme is for all MSME, MSE, not ME, means micro and small enterprises. Medium has been kept outside. Now, CGT MSME. Credit guarantee under this scheme. What is CGT MSME? Credit guarantee scheme for macro and small enterprise. Medium enterprise again outside this scheme. From the current financial year, the upper guarantee cap of 5 crores enhanced to 10 crores. So, entity can avail bank finance up to rupees 10 crores from a financial institution without furnishing collateral guarantee in form of personal guarantee as well as security in form of any property or asset. So, as we all know, in order to have a loan from banking channel or financial institution or NBFC, they require two kinds of security. Primary, that is hypothecation of goods in case of manufacturing units, plus debtors in case of manufacturers and service sector. On this hypothecation, there is a margin and the working capital requirement is taken. Further, they require collateral guarantee also, and that portion of collateral guarantee, the amount of collateral guarantee is the amount of limit of the finance. And this guarantee is covered here, and with the financial year 25-26, the coverage has been enhanced to rupees 10 crores, and the annual guarantee fee has been reduced. Earlier in 2021, it was around 2.5%. It has been reduced to 1.20, and the slabs has also been reduced. For current financial year 25-26, by virtue of circular number 250, dated 18th March 2022, thereafter one more circular issued for reduction of AGF, the applicable slab for this annual guarantee fees before GST. On this annual guarantee fees, 18% GST is also applicable. The slab for collateral amount, if it is up to 10 lakhs, the guarantee will be calculated at the rate of 0.37%. When it is between 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs, it will be calculated at 0.55%. 50 crores to 50 lakhs to 1 crore, it will be calculated at 0.60%. From 1 crore to 2 crores, it will be calculated as 0.85%. From 2 crores to 5 crores, it will be calculated as 1%. Then from 5 crores to 8 crores, it will be calculated as 1.10%. And above 8 crores to 10 crores will be calculated at 1.20%. So this is the annual guarantee fee. If you pay this, then the collateral will not be taken by the bank. And this amount of collateral will be calculated and further relaxation is also given. In normal case, if collateral requirement is say 10 crores, the guarantee coverage calculation will be on 75% of the 10 crores, that is 7.50 crores into 1.20 percentage. Further, in December 2024, in case of MSME owned by women entrepreneur, this coverage of collateral under CGT MSME scheme was enhanced from 85% to 90%. Where by this circular, it was decided that to enhance the extent of guarantee coverage for credit facilities extended to women entrepreneur to 90%. Maximum extent of guarantee coverage were guaranteed a credit facility. Up to 5 lakhs loan, then it is 85%. 5 to 50 lakhs, it is 75%. Then 50 lakhs to 5 crore is 75%. The further circular as per enhanced CGT MSME is yet to be issued. So the latest circular which is there is shown as now they have to also give a circular for 5 crores to 10 crores how the coverage will be done. Now the circular covers only 5 crores, although the collateral coverage has been extended up to 10 crores. So I think this slab of 5 crores will be the same for 5 to 10 crores also, or maybe a slight deviation of percentage coverage. It will depend on the circular issued by CGT MSME. The micro enterprise, it will be 85 or 75%. MSME located in Northeast or Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, it is 80%. Women entrepreneurs, now it is 90%. JET certified MSME or ST entrepreneurs, it is 85%. All other categories, it is 75%. This is the coverage of CGT MSME. This already I have discussed. TREDS, the bills exchange earlier, which we call when we used to go to bank for bill exchange. Now, the similar bill exchange has been made online for MSME registered units who are engaged in manufacturing of goods or provider of services. This facility is not available for MSME registered entities who are traders or wholesalers. That is trading in goods. 3 major websites are allowing this. Such kind of MSMEs who are eligible, they have to first get themselves registered in this platform. Then they have to upload few documents, that is purchase order plus the invoice with proof of acceptance. Then the participating facilitations, banks, NBFC or FI will finance through this portal to such supplier, and reverse finance is also allowed. Few FAQs. What is TREDS? It is an electronic platform facilitating financing and discounting of trade receivables of micro, small, and medium enterprises through multiple financiers, be it bankers, financial institutions, or NBFCs who are registered. And these receivables can be done through corporates having turnover exceeding rupees 250 crores. They are compulsory required to be registered. Other buyers, including government department and public sector undertakings. Who can participate? Seller, buyers, and financiers. Who can participate as seller? Only MSME registered entities can participate as sellers under this platform. Who can participate as buyer? All corporates, government departments, PSUs, or any other entities. Who can participate as financier? Any bank, NBFC, FIs who are permitted by Reserve Bank of India, and that list I will show you afterwards. How does this portal works? Credit creation of factoring unit, standard nomenclature in areas for invoices, bills, content details of invoices, bills, and thereafter buyer's acceptance, then buyer's reverse factoring, acceptance by the financiers, and the payment is made by bidding. A factoring unit is a standard nomenclature used for invoices or bills of exchange. Each factor unit represents confirmed obligations on corporate and other buyers, including government departments and PSUs, who can create either by MSME seller or buyer. If buyer creates the factoring unit, that is invoices on the portal, then it is called reverse factoring. Authorization, that payment, and these are the press releases given. RBI till now has authorized 5 kinds of platforms. There may be many platforms online, but RBI authorized are A full stop trades limited, C2FO factoring solutions private limited, KiredX platform private limited, Mayat solutions private limited, and receivables exchange of India limited. And the terminology used by A-Trades is InvoiceMart, C2FO financing is C-Trades, and KiredX platform is DTX, then Minor Solutions is MI Exchange, and Trades is RXIL. The Udyam portal recognizes first one and last two. Just I show you. InvoiceMart, one exchange, RXIL line. InvoiceMart, one exchange, and RXIL. InvoiceMart and one exchange, number 1, 4, and 5 are recognized by Udyam portal. RBI has recognized number 2 and number 3 also. And RIXL is commencing from December 2006. These are the date of commencements. These two are newer entrant to this kind of platform. Maybe Udyam portal is required to be updated with these two also. Currently, it is showing 1st, 4th, and 5th. KYC, yes, it is applicable. The platform aggregator needs to have KYC, know your customer compliant. Settlement, yes, settlement is to be done after the initial payment. Who takes the liability has to settle it. Default handling is not taken care by this platform. With Companies Act, all companies registered under Companies Act whose turnover is rupees 250 crores or more, and all public sector enterprises it is required to get themselves onboarded with trades receivable discounting system platform. This is the official gadget. Para 2, all companies registered under Companies Act 2013 with turnover of more than 250 crores, all central public sector enterprises and any other entities they require may get themselves registered. Now, GEM portal, we all know what is the GEM portal. It is a government e-market platform where suppliers get themselves onboarded on filling up a big onboard supplier form which has multiple criteria, and after onboarding, maximum government entities under CPP program gets themselves their procurement through GEM portal. And there is another circular, if there is a default of GEM registered buyers, then they will pay the penal interest at the rate of 1% per annum, 1% per month, that is 12% per annum. Now, one more scheme many public sector banks are giving is easy loan, 59 minutes loan, wherein no paperwork is required, MSME funding. The requirement is it is digital online. The MSME unit is to be required to be registered with them portal, and they can apply on this platform, and this platform within 59 minutes will say which are the bank basis on your application credential can give you or disburse you the loan from 10 lakhs to rupees 5 crores. And I have taken, for example, SBI. SBI has its own platform also. You require PAN, GST detail, income tax return detail, bank statement, key person who is the owner, associate detail one. Then you fill up the form, upload the documents, apply it online. And if your credentials are okay, you will be getting a loan up to rupees 5 crores. Might be with the advent of the upper ceiling of CGTA MSME, they may also go this up to 10 crores loan through online portal. As we all talked, what is MSME Samadhan portal? MSME Samadhan portal is as per Chapter 5 of MSMED Act and Section 18 to 22, 21 is for this. Micro and Small Enterprise Facilitation Council. We call it MSEFC for settlement of disputes on getting references filing of delay of payment. What is the nature of assistance? They will examine the case filed, then it will become factoring in, it will be a case, and then they will issue the direction to buyer unit for payment along with interest as per the provisions of the Act, that is Section 16. Who can apply? Any micro small enterprise having valid Udyam registration. 45 days is the time limit. Any references made to this council, they have to decide within 90 days, and this supplier, upon getting his case registered, this council will direct the buyer to make the necessary payment. How it has been implemented? The provisions under MSMED Act are implemented by MSCC Facilitation Council chaired by Director of Industries of state or union territory having administrative control over that MSME unit. The government or union territories are requested to ensure that MSME Facilitation Council holds meeting regularly, and delay payment cases are decided by the councils within a period of 90 days as stipulated in the Act. The current status is total 1,280,000 cases were filed after this portal came into effect. The amount was 29,749.72 crores. The delay amounts by the buyer. Out of 1,02,080 cases, 53,628 cases has been disposed of till now. And the amount paid in disposed of cases where it is a principal amount, it is 9,341.81 crores. Just see the magnitude and the working of MSME Samadhan portal. So, if any case is registered under this portal, as an auditor, you should have an understanding that what is the position, whether case file has been admitted, and what is the status of payment. Means you will be auditing the buyer, and if a buyer has received such letter, and if you are not disclosing it in your book notes, if the disclosure is not proper, then you may be held liable if such counsels gives any or makes any complaint against such auditor to DC mechanism. In notes to accounts, the buyer has not disclosed and he has received the letter from this counsel that this payment is due. That means case is admitted and the balance sheet date is there. The buyer whose accounts, as a chartered accountant in practice, you are auditing, the buyer has not disclosed, you have not asked for, nor you have documented that you have asked for, and he has not given you the reply. Then further, if something goes wrong and a complaint is done against the auditor, then it will be taken as misconduct on the part of auditor. So you have to have a written documentation that you have inquired upon it and what was the response from those who are charged with governance or the management on this status, whether they have procured any goods or whether there is any such kind of letter or directions received. Is work order compulsory? Yes, but if it is purchase order, then affidavit under first class magistrate is required. Multiple invoices are there, then it can be shared as single PDF and oral affidavit purchase has to be given. How application is to made? This is the website. Enterprise can close an application by following the given steps. Please check your application case status. This is the status. If application is converted into case, then MSME Council will take decision if application is not covered. What is the meaning when application is not covered? It means that you are deficient in your application, that you have not supplied the purchase order or you have not supplied the affidavit in case of or oral order received, or your bills are not accepted, your bills are not proper, the acceptance by the buyer is not there. This can lead to the cases not to be, application not to be converted into cases. Once the applications are not covered into cases, then again you have to reapply for it. Who are not covered MSME register? Those are traders. That is NIC code 45, 46, 47. And when it is the category of the MSME registered is changed due to investment in plant and machinery as well as increase in turnover, then also the non-tax benefit, this kinds of benefit of Traces portal, Samadhan portal will continue for a period of 3 years. Again, few questions. If 3 years old invoices can be uploaded, no, the Limitation Act applies as decided by Supreme Court in the matter of Silpi Industries versus Kerala State Road Transport Corporation. Is this Samadhan portal applicable on foreign buyers? No, because MSME Act does not apply to overseas companies or buyers. Whether government department as a buyer covered? Yes. Can only interest claim be filed? What is the case? The buyer has already paid the principal amount with a delay, but he has not paid the interest. Then also the supplier can file complaint through this portal, can file an application through this portal, and it will be converted into case for non-payment of interest. How the penal interest is calculated? It is calculated on monthly rate at 3 times the bank rate, that is 6.50%. This is the bank rate. As per RBI policy, when it changes, it will change. Currently, it is 6.50. And when I made it, it was 6.75. In recently, there is a change. So to calculate is 6.75. Can waiver of interest be done by the supplier? Suppose supplier wants to waive the interest payment of the buyer. As per MSMED Act, the waiver is not allowed, because Section 17 wording for any goods supplied or services rendered by the supplier, the buyer shall be liable to pay the amount with interest. So, as per MSMED Act, the supplier, in case of delay payment by the buyer, the probable interest liability cannot be waived by the supplier. This is a flagship scheme of Government of India, PM Vishwakarma. Under this scheme, small artisans, craftsmen, and others are allowed to get themselves registered and avail the benefit. It was launched by the Prime Minister himself, and it was announced by himself. Under this scheme, various benefits has been given to the entities called Vishwakarma. Coverage: families of traditional artisans and craftspeople. Craftspeople covers painters, carpenters, and other repairing, trading shops, etc. Guru Shiksha Parampara, where there is no formal education, but on generations the skill is been transferred. Initially, 18 such kinds of trade has been covered. It is planned for 30 lakhs beneficiaries across India. The applicant will be issued a certificate and ID card. There will be a credit support, skill upgradation. When he procures the tools for his day-to-day working, the initiative for such kind of purchases, toolkit initiative will be given again to make their production sellable on online platform. Incentive for digital transformation is also allowed. What is the process? It is online process. It has to be verified by Gram Panchayat. Few documents needs to be uploaded. Coverage is for 1 person per family. Bulk coverage will be done. And Cabinet gave his approval on 16th August 2023. Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister of India himself announced this on 15th August 2023. This is the benefit registration. Credit support, it will be credit free. Even CGTMSE is not required. Up to 1 lakh, up to 2 lakhs, concessional interest rate at the rate of 5% will be applied. The skill will be identified, and 5 days basic training will be given. Advanced training will be given, and doing training 500 rupees stipend will be given. Toolkit incentive will be direct benefit transfer as rupees 15,000. Incentive for digital transaction, rupee 1 per transaction, up to 100 transactions per month will be given. marketing support up to rupees 250 crores for branding, advertising, and other marketing activities. What are the trades covered? Carpenters, boat makers, armors, blacksmiths, hammer toolkit maker, locksmith, goldsmith, potter, sculptors, cobblers, Rajmistri, basket mat weavers, doll toy makers, barber, that is nai, garment or malakar, mali, washerman, dhobi, tailor, darji, fish net makers. This is the process flow, how the process will flow. This is the implementation framework, how it will be implemented across India, how it will be linked with market linkage and support, design development, packaging, branding, publicity, promotion, e-commerce with GEM and other Khadi India, MSME Mart, quality certification, participate in trade fair, buyer-seller meet, promotion of council. Then comes JET certification. Once you get yourself JET certification, there will be a cut in interest rate, and there are three kinds of JET certification: bronze, silver, and gold. And under this category, as you qualify, you can get themselves registered, and one-time benefit of rupees 10,000 will be given, and the rate of application for bronze is rupees 8,000. And once you get your registered at bronze and the benefit is there, literally there is nil registration to get the category of bronze certificate. Subsidy on cost. This is the subsidy for MSME registered for JET certification. Additional subsidy for Northeast region, that is 10%. Limited purpose joining reward 10,000. What I said, for bronze certificate, it will be taken and it will be taken care. And certification process is JET certification can be attained online 3 levels: level 1 bronze, level 2 silver, level 3 gold. After taking JET place, an MSME can apply online for certification and would conform to the requirements of level. Every MSME can register here, and in non-conformity, it will give an opportunity to close. Final JET certification will be issued based on finding and recommendation of accredited assessment agencies. After your application, these agencies will check your application, and after checking, they will allow you for the registration. Then MSME competitive lean scheme. What is the lean scheme? It is for MSME sector who gets themselves registered, and it supports for in 2 phases. For manufacturing MSE, it is phase 1. For others, it will be phase 2, that is service category. Objective of the scheme is reduction in rejection rates, production of raw material movements and its production cost, optimization of space utilization, resources like water, energy, and natural resources, enhancement of quality of product and processes, production and export capabilities build up, workplace safety, knowledge and skill sets, innovative work culture, social and environment accountability, profitability. Under this scheme, your production is checked and it is made marketable with branding to make you competitive in the market. This is the coverage. So this is in a nutshell an overview of MSME sector with relation to legal safeguards, various concessions and tax benefits, and government schemes for sustainability growth. And I would also like to highlight few of the government schemes also which are there, which I have not covered due to paucity of time. The other schemes for MSME are Prime Minister's employment, which I have covered, CGT MSME I have covered. Micro and Small Enterprise Cluster Development Program, scheme of fund and regeneration, traditional incentives, enterprise skill development program, assistance for training institutions, core vikas yojana, procurement and marketing support scheme, international cooperation scheme, national SCST hub scheme, a scheme for promotion of innovation and rural industries and enterprises, aspire, khadi gram udyog scheme, vikas yojana, promotion of MSME in Northeast region and Sikkim. A new scheme is PM Vishwakarma, tool rooms, technical incentive schemes, MSME champion schemes, that is JET certification, innovation, lean, self-reliant and SRI fund, raising and accreditation of MSME performance. These are 18 various schemes ongoing by the Government of India, where as per your eligibility criteria, you can apply for. I would also like to give thrust upon the MSME champion scheme once. Under MSME champion scheme, what the ministry is saying is, Ministry of MSME had been implementing credit-linked capital subsidy and technology upgradation scheme. We call it as CLCS-TUS for promoting competitiveness amongst micro, small, and medium enterprise by way of waste reduction through lean manufacturing, that is checking of manufacturing processes, support for design, the improvement and development, building awareness on intellectual property rights, that is patents and branding, trademark, etc. Zero defect, zero effect, that is JADE scheme, which I discussed, digitally empowering MSME through digital MSME and promote their support, untapped capacity, creativity of individual, and to promote adoption of latest technologies in manufacturing as well as knowledge-based innovations in MSMEs through incubation across India. With this, I rest. This was my presentation. Now I stop the screen sharing and over to the committee for MSME for further FAQ or question and answers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Participants has few questions. Now
Yeah.
Arnav sir will ask me. Arnav sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Right, am I audible?
Yeah,
Right.
you are audible.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much, sir, for sharing your invaluable expertise and insights with us today.
Yeah.
Uh, Secondly, we have a few questions. If you
Mm.
will let me ask them one by one.
Yeah.
First question is, list of
Mm.
MSME supplier needs to be submitted by the SSC to the auditor. However, if no
Mm.
list is made available to the auditor and auditor knows that some of the creditors are MSME registered persons, what
Mm.
option is available to the auditor? Does he need to disclose the same in his report?
This question relates with two standards of auditing, that is asset 250 as well as written representation received by the management under SA 580. As an auditor, first you need to check for compliances with other laws and regulations. And as you said in your query, you are already knowing that few of the creditors are registered under MSME Act. Now the creditors being registered under MSME Act known by you, you should give a written, for a written representation, you should have communication with those who charge with governance, TWCG, as per SA, and you should categorically mention that I have a knowledge of this few suppliers of your entity, they are registered with this act, but you are not disclosing them properly in notes to account. Please say what is the reason therefore. Based on their representation or reply, why they are not considering, you have to form your opinion and you have to disclose in your audit report. Non-disclosure may lead to professional misconduct in future if anyone complains. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Next question is, if the payment is made after 45 days within the financial year, whether the expenditure is allowable. I think we covered that.
Yes, we covered. It's
For
allowable.
for example, due date is 1st June 2024. Payment made after 45 days and within the financial year paid on 5th June 2024.
It's allowed.
So I think you covered this, that
Yeah.
interest will be payable.
Interest will be payable. The expenditure will not be disallowed, but interest is payable. And if it is not provided or not paid, it has to be commented by the auditor.
Okay, sir. Third question is, if any transaction happens before registration under MSME Act and later party registers as MSME, the amount payable after the registration for the period related to before the registration is liable to disclose under the notes to accounts, and interest is payable under MSME Act as prescribed.
No, if the goods has been supplied and when his registration is taken by the supplier and the due date for payment also becomes due before the registration, that means that supplier is unregistered under MSME Act. So as per section 22 disclosure, it will not be there, but it is always advisable to give a note that in above the amount amounting to say rupees 1 lakh was paid with delay or payable, it pertains to the period which is before his registration with MSMED Act.
And sir, what will happen in the case when the goods were supplied, then party became registered under MSME, and then the due date falls?
Then it has to be disclosed in the notes as per section 22 because the due date is after the registration.
All right. The fourth question is, if any transactions happen before registration under MS. Okay, we covered this. The amount payable after registration for the period. Okay, this is same question. The next question is, if the supplier is under manufacturing and trading both, whether trading goods supply will be eligible for benefits under MSME.
Strictly interpretation of the act is benefit is not available for traded goods. But if a supplier is both manufacturer and trader, to demark the same goods, suppose X entity is a manufacturer of a commodity, say in my example, pencil. Now they get an order for pencil, then they procures the material from open market, brands it and supplies it. This bifurcation can only be done by the seller, cannot be done by the buyer. So if seller does not demark or bifurcate, then on the entire supplier, the buyer needs to have the same caution as per MSMED Act. So in this disguise, the supplier can very well get the benefit. But who is Ram with what to say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next question is, say for instance, a company registered under MSME in past and now crossed the criteria of investment or turnover, which falls beyond the MSME criteria. How the buyer will know about it and how this tracking is done?
In MSME certification, there is already a part which shows that what kind of criteria, what category the entity is registered. Once the entity crosses the investment and turnover criteria, that certificate will show this criteria is over. And if they obtain the certificate from such suppliers, they will very well know which criteria and which category they are.
So we have to ask for the certificate every year.
Registration certificate. Yeah, every year.
Every
Registration
year,
certificate.
okay.
And we should also give a letter as per third-party communication, as per our standards of auditing, a letter should be issued to all the suppliers stating that first you declare whether you are registered under MSME or not. If yes, provide the registration certificate, because on the basis of registration certificate, you have to classify them as manufacturer of goods, rendering of services, or traders. And based on such classification, the delay has to be counted and the interest liability is to be taken. If the trader is delaying, the interest liability as per section 16 will not be there, although there can be other interest liabilities. And the interest liability as per section 16 is disallowed. And the delay payment as per section 15 is disallowed. But other delay payments is not allowed. The traders registered as MSME, the protection for section 15 and 16 is not applicable to them as per office memorandum. So such kind of delays is not considered for disallowance under Income Tax Act, but such kind of delay is considered for reporting as per section 22. This is demarcation.
Sir. Next question is, what legal resources do MSME have in case of delayed payment from a buyer?
One is the Samadhan portal, which I discussed. They can go there. If it is within the limitation period, they have got a purchase order, their invoices has been accepted, then it becomes a case on application and the council will direct the buyer to pay. And after that also, if the payment is not done, it is a fit case for the court of law.
Okay. Next question is, what are major income tax exemptions available for startups under Section 80 ISA?
It's a detailed literature. It is in the act itself. It is for the rate, then employment benefit, then tax holiday, then on basis of production, the on case of export also there are benefits. Multiple benefits are there under this section. It will take a lot of time to explain.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
One more question, sir. How can MSMEs benefit from lower corporate tax rate regime?
The tax will be lesser under 115 BAC. It will be 25%. The additional workflow, capital flow will not be there. The tax rates are lesser. This is the first benefit.
Okay, sir. I think we have covered all the questions that have been submitted until now. Thank you for explaining in such detail, sir.
Thank you.
Every participant in the webinar have gained tremendous knowledge from your session sir, today. Thank you so much. Now I will transfer back the conversation to the committee member.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for wonderful session, sir. And thank you, sir, for coordination. Thank you, tech support team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you.